There is a saying that goes like, cherish what you have before it becomes something you had. This is the tale of knowing the value of people in your life and being content. One cold, rainy night, Inshira curled into the arms of her husband, who was fast asleep. Their hearts felt colder than usual. Makafui, her husband, wasn't amongst the world of men in Susuka, but he provided for her regardless. He was a small-scale farmer who sold his produce and made some profits, but Inshira never mind. In fact, it was one of the main reasons why she had come to love him. He made sure they were always okay and had food on the table, clothes on her back, and gave her most of all he had made. Greed and selfishness was far from their corridors. They had a life that they both was content with. Market days was the popular days for gist and gossip for the market women in Susuka. The four friends gathered to calculate the day's sales for their produce. Ada said, I made 200 cedis profit from today's sales, which is good. My husband said he will be gifting me 500 cedis in addition for my wifely allowance. Brema chipped in. My husband has also promised me 600 Ghana cedis to buy me some jewelries that I requested. I love my husband so much. Dufie, the single friend, pointed to Inshira and said, What about you, my friend? What is your husband gifting you? Inshira stood in silence without a word. Her three friends burst out laughing. Please tell me at least your husband feeds you, Dufie said sarcastically. My husband is a good man. He might not be gifting me presents from time to time, but he is the best husband in the world, Inshira said as her friends continued to mock and taunt her. Inshira loved her husband Makafui and was proud to be called his wife. He does his best for her, and he had been the sole caretaker for his mom and sisters since his father's passing. Fie was in her 30s and single. She rejected everyone that came with proposals and advances into Suka. She would say, the man who is able to pamper me and show me much more love and concern, I would marry one day. Inshira and Makafui was not your usual couple. They understood each other and their unspoken words. Makafui didn't have enough, but he loved and catered for his wife. On occasions, he would cook and clean up the whole house before his wife was even up from bed. During one of these helpful days and moments, Dufie visited her friend Inshira. Why is your husband in the kitchen cooking? Dufie asked curiously, nearly in a whisper. Oh, these are the days my husband doesn't allow me to do nothing at home. He would take care of the house and me all together. I appreciate his effort towards making our marriage happy and harmonious. Dufie's facial expression changed from curiosity to jealousy and then to curiosity again. She continued, So he doesn't allow you to do anything on some days? Yes, Dufie. Isn't he a darling? Inshira said with a smile. That was the beginning of Dufie's plot to take her friend's husband. Dufie stared at the moonlight through her window, devising plans and plots to snatch her husband from her. That was the exact man she wanted and needed in her life. Someone who would understand her and someone who wouldn't push her to do so many things and household chores. Inshira can't have the man I want. She isn't that beautiful either, she said as a devious smile appeared on her face. She was going to take him from her by hook or crook. Dufie made it a point to visit Inshira's home any chance she gets. She saw how McAfee would pamper his wife and tickle her till she couldn't laugh no more. He would peck her cheeks, and sometimes he would hand his wife the whole day's job money. Dufie was red with envy. She had always thought her other friends, Ada and Brema, had the best marriages. But she had seen firsthand how Ada's husband cheated on her, or how Brema's husband beat her. But Inshira was the one that had the better marriage. Dufie made it a chore to slowly destroy McAfee and Inshira's union. And after Inshira had left, she would worm her place into McAfee's bed. She would say stuff to her friend like, "The money your husband is giving to you is not enough. You deserve more." Or, "Leave your husband. There are better men with money that can provide for you." Or, "I saw your husband with another girl." Or, "Your husband is sterile and that is why you still haven't taken seed." Initially, Inshira would brush Dufie off, but it became too much. She finally got to Inshira. The house that was once peaceful and harmonious was like a fire had been set on it. McAfee and Inshira were always at each other's neck, bickering. McAfee's love that he had for his wife gradually diminished, and same went for Inshira. Finally, one day, she packed and left to her parents' home. Dufie had successfully pushed her friend and her husband apart. She would lie to McAfee about Inshira and fool Inshira with another lie. After the departure of Inshira, she would come to McAfee in the guise of cooking and cleaning for him. She would accompany him to the farm and lovingly wipe his mouth off debris. Affection began to build, and that affection led to the warmth of his bed. Dufie's monthly visitor didn't show up, and upon thorough investigation, she had taken seed. McAfee was beyond joy. He was finally going to be a husband. The village chastised Dufie for being with her friend's husband, but she didn't care. She wanted this relationship and she had it. Inshira heard whispers from people which she couldn't believe. So with her own eyes, she went to her husband's house to see what was going on. She was met with a scene that crippled her. In her home was the heavily pregnant Dufie and her husband, McAfee, feeding and loving on each other without the care in the world. Dufie, she shouted in tears. Was her eyes deceiving her? "You were the one that told me to leave my husband and made sure to draw us apart, just so you can come and take what is mine?" Dufie and McAfee continued with their PDA, completely ignoring Inshira. That is how Inshira totally lost her marriage to her friend. McAfee and Dufie lived a happy life. Karma had nothing on them.